Hello everyone, I'm Kibin Alleyne and today is Tuesday, June 11th. You are now watching Open, a program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. Don't forget to stay connected with us via social media at BronxNet TV. The organization BU Stay True celebrates 10 years of serving children through the sport of basketball. Founder of the organization, Andrew Curiel, now joins me to discuss reaching this milestone and ways your child can get involved with the basketball camp this summer. Andrew, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. So excited to be here, Kevin, in person this time.
Yes, so I wanted to say that we were able to speak before, but for those who probably missed that interview, can you give us a brief overview of the program BU Stay True?
Absolutely. BU Stay True program is a nonprofit organization that was started here in the Bronx that promotes character building in the youth through the sport of basketball. What I've seen over my time playing basketball as a younger adolescent is like all those life lessons that we see on the court with coaches and games, things like that, they translate to life. So we're teaching those lessons to the young kids throughout their time in high school, also middle school, and even elementary school.
Now, what was the main objective when you established the camp?
Yeah, 10 years ago, young Drew, 18-year-old, was way different. So like understanding that camps cost a lot of money for kids and understanding that sometimes families can't afford a $300 weekend basketball camp or a $750 week-long basketball camp. My partner and I, Nico, we wanted to transform that and change that dynamic and provide access to these kids and these families to provide free basketball camps. And that's what we did for about our first 4 years. And then year 5, we saw it as like a business model with opportunity to gain more like awards, certificates, medals, trophies for the kids if we raise enough money throughout the like time that we were spending.
Now, you mentioned 10 years, which is amazing.
Yeah.
To celebrate 10 years of just anything that's just a huge accomplishment. How are you celebrating this achievement?
10 years is amazing. What I see there is like passion has been purpose. And this past decade has been exactly that, like working in my purpose. And the way we're celebrating it is the same way that we started, our 10-year reunion basketball camp on June 22nd at the University of Mount St. Vincent, where myself and Nico both graduated from, and I currently work there now as the director of our Center for Leadership. It's going to be an amazing opportunity where our kids come together, but also our volunteers, which are the college students that like I work with on the annual basis. So bring all those connections together to celebrate basketball, but most important to learn the importance of being you and staying true to who you are, both on and off the court.
Now, how has the organization evolved over a decade? And I'm also curious to know, how have you evolved, throughout this entire journey?
It's changed so much from basketball camps in the Bronx to an opportunity to do a basketball camp in Ireland, because I got my master's over in Ireland, to an opportunity last year to do a basketball camp in Aguadilla, Puerto Rico. And to do it over there is just to see how big our message of BU Stay True is and how it can start transforming lives. Even from just a basketball camp, we've been an organization that has raised money to provide laptops, computers, Chromebooks to my old elementary school, St. Helena's in the Bronx. And what we've seen is this BU Stay True program is less of a basketball program and more of a nonprofit youth development empowerment program that can empower anybody that understands the message of being you and staying true.
Now, can you talk about the importance of character building programs for children in areas like the Bronx?
Huge. Being a resident of the Bronx, I've thought about that too. You go to school, you learn your academics, you go to sports, you get the information from there, but like what is really developing you as the person that you truly want to be? God willing is coming from the family and those dynamics, but if it's not, what is the program that's providing that? I believe BU Stay True fills that gap. I see it in myself, to answer your previous question, like the character building, like how are you developing as a young person in this world? I remember last year I told you, like I see young people as sponges. They can absorb as much as they can, but like what else are they reaping from that information gathering? And for me and Nico, it's like we're young, we're young black men in the Bronx that can continue to show our message of being you and staying true. So it's like we could be that role model that we wish we had when we were younger, to like be empowered to be ourselves.
And I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because I think that children can often be just misheard or like not heard or
Super.
misrepresented. Thinking about how you were when you were younger, what are some qualities that you make sure that you have now as a leader that you want to provide for kids today?
Inclusivity. I think inclusivity is one of the biggest things. All are involved, all can participate, all can be here. Because what I see is exclusive is like what deems to be like, oh yeah, that's exclusive, I want to reach that status. However, at the end of the day, we're all human people. And that's what I see in the basketball camp. Like, it's changed from just having boys to having boys and girls, having people with disabilities still take part in the camp, or having people that don't play basketball at all, but are just willing to try one day. And that's what I see. We have a low barrier to entry. That access is super important. And that's something that I've seen throughout my time. Inclusivity is so important, especially in the realm of sports and what we've seen now with women's sports, specifically basketball.
That's amazing. I'm so glad that you brought that up because I know that I talked about that last year
Yeah.
about the importance of being a role model for boys and having young boys in the Bronx look up to people. But you mentioned that girls are also there,
Super.
and basketball is huge for women right now. So can you talk about the importance of kind of, having that space available for girls in the Bronx as well?
It's so important. Right now, I'm looking at our coaches list. We have more women coaches than male coaches. Myself, Nico, and my boy, Coach Shoppy, we're going to be the only male coaches. And we have 5 female coaches. And that's a representation of where the sport is going, is growing. So the same thing, we want to be reflective of the dynamics, but also the community that we're serving too. I think it's important for young females to see other females be successful in their sport, but also be successful academically as well. These individuals that we're going to have, they're all University of Mount St. Vincent women's basketball players. They just won a Skyline championship. Most importantly, they were all on the Dean's list this past semester as well. So it's that full representation and also inclusivity for those female students that we hope to see at our camp.
Now, what are the benefits of offering sports and extracurricular activities in the Bronx, especially for children in the Bronx?
It's a safe haven. It really is. I mean, in my role, I see opportunities to connect students with like internship sites, job sites, and you see it. What are students doing after school? They're either at home or on the block, unfortunately. If we could provide that service to students where they know they have a community to go to, they have a mentor to reach out to, they have a connection, they have a community that they could really like embed themselves in, we could see students be more successful, quote unquote, both on and off the court, whether it may be in their academic, whether it may be in their entrepreneurial journeys, whatever it may be, but you'll see like that purpose would be more developed if they have that community to be like really be a part of.
And then can you expand on the importance of physical activity just here in the Bronx, as we know that unfortunately, we are the unhealthiest borough. So I personally think it's amazing that there's something fun for kids to do in regard to physical activity, but can you expand on that?
Heavy on the fun. So like when we do our camp and we're doing all these conditioning drills to really like show them like sports takes you to be conditioned in order to compete, right, at a certain level. We try to make it as fun as we can. What are those little competitions that you could do with yourself, tricking your mind, but also supporting like the people around you as well. And what we do is like we understand like our coaches, right? Yeah, there's a high level of basketball, but right now to show that basketball is this fun sport, we have to bring it down to their level. So how can we make the things more inclusive? How can we make the drills and the skills more fun? Because hopefully what I would love to see is our kids that take part in the camp, now they're more willing to try out for their team in school. Now they're more willing to take part in an organization on a weekend to be more physically fit. That's really the hope that I would love to see as well.
Now, a really important thing is that it takes place on a college campus. We can definitely already see how it benefits the children, but how does it also benefit the college students on the campus?
I would say it's ingrained now. I mean, there's such layover with my position at the university, being an alumni, but also working there for 5 years now. It's like now people see me as like BU Stay True, but also Center for Leadership and what I do. But most importantly for our students, it's like now I'm seeing like a new generation of students that don't know about BU Stay True, but know me, and now see the importance of like, oh, now I get why BU Stay True is so important. And literally on my whiteboard, like in my office, I have a list and things that I need for camp. And students just go in there and just write their name And I'm like, all right, you're volunteering? Like, you're going to be a part? And they're like, yes, I want to be a part. And what I found is now it's another community for them to feel ingrained and connected with. And what I love from it is like some are coaches, some are volunteers. And I told them the way you're going to be a volunteer is just be you. Ultimately, wherever we need you to be your most successful self. Try your best, because what I found was some of our campers that come to the camp, some of their role models are not even the coaches. It's the volunteers or the social media people, or the photographers or the videographers. And I'm like, each one of you have a potential impact to mentor or show yourself as a role model to a kid. That is the role of what we're going to be doing at BU Stay True.
Now, what are the requirements for joining the program?
6 to 14. And just be willing to come play basketball. Really, that's what it is. Sometimes I get parents that may ask, hey, I have a 4 or 5-year-old. And of course, some of them may be a little bit more advanced or may not. But again, like I never really say no. You're more than willing to come down. And what I find is if it's a little bit too much, then like the camper sits out. But if it's all good, they continue on with the camp. 6 to 14, some of our campers that have been campers in the past are coming back as volunteer coaches, volunteers in general. So it's cool to see that. And ultimately, even for like our young college students, it's like now the hope is once they come to the camp, now they come to your basketball games in the fall and during the winter season as they see you on the court too.
That's amazing. And this is such an amazing program, and I can't believe this
Thank
started
you.
when you were 18.
Thank
That's truly amazing. And so I'm so glad that you're able to kind of put this energy towards something
Yeah.
amazing in our borough for the children in our borough. So thank you so much for joining us and having this discussion.
Absolutely, Kibin. Thank you for the time.
To learn more about this amazing program, please go to the website at bustaytrueprogram.com. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Open after this.